Oh, I got a fun channeled message about love. Okay. So a few months back, I was reading energies that Spirit was telling me, and I was translating as being avoidant. And I remember during those readings, I didn't fully understand what that meant. I was curious. I'm like, oh, I wonder what it's like, what an avoidant's like. Guess what I manifested? An avoidant in my life. Never had one in my entire life. And guys, they are so confusing. I know narcissists. I know love bombers. I never knew an avoidant. I've even met anxious attachment styles. They kind of come off as love bombers, but they're too needy and full of anxiety and crazy energy for me to want to engage in that. So I guess so far, I feel like I've met all the love types. The avoidant was the last one I had to learn. Oh, gosh, I feel for you guys. So now more and more I have these readings about avoidant behavior, and I'm in the position that I can actually feel for you. Now when I feel through these readings, I'm understanding it because I've experienced it in my own personal life. Before, when I started with the avoidant energy, it was a lot of that curiosity. Now I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. So that was my lesson to become wiser for the collective. I identify as a healer, spiritually a healer. I'm also a nurse, so I identify as a healer in that source or that sense as well. But to become a healer, you actually have to go through the pain and suffering to understand it fully in order to help others. And that's part of the mission that I just was put on. So avoidance, I thought was just one love style, but Miss KC made a great point. Everyone essentially is an avoidant. We all are, every single one of us. And I was like, oh, you're right, because I'm used to narcissists and they love bomb, but then what do? They pull back and they avoid. So they make you chase them and they love that. They have to be on the top of the pedestal and you have to honor them and it's their way or the highway. That's the narcissistic type of lover. Those are the ones I've always gravitated to. So this avoidant here that I met came off as a secure attachment. And then it just went haywire. And it was almost like instant. Like, we're doing great. And then it's like, poof, everything falls apart. And initially I walked away from him being like, okay, well, actions speak louder than words. You don't want me, fine. Then we ended up kind of having like a friendship. And now even as a friendship, he's pushing me away. With my last mishap with dating, I actually went to this avoidant, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. And I said, look, you don't irritate me. You're normal. He's intelligent. He's successful. He's not a billionaire, but I mean successful, and he has a good work ethic. He has goals. He's driven. He's not lazy, And I was like, you know what? Let's just life together because I don't really want to go back out into that dating pool. And I love my independence, and he has shown me he loves his independence. I'm like, we could be a great team. We leave each other alone, but help each other when we need help. So I'm like, if something breaks in the house, help me fix it. And you know what? I'll cook and I'll clean, right? We could just live in harmony. Help each other out. Scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of thing. Hasn't given me an answer yet, but I did get to that level. But I also realized before I made this offer to him, I am an avoidant. The guy that after 2 dates was like, when are we moving in? I was like, nope, not gonna happen. I'm like, go away, too much. I clearly ran. And I made a video about that where I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if my avoidant sees me the same way I saw this guy. But it just came to me, the daily reading. We always want what we can't have. What does an avoidant do? When an avoidant can't have something, they go after it. Because even my own avoidant tendencies, that's how narcissists got me. Because they love bomb me. They paint this picture of this awesome life that we can have. And then the minute I was like, oh, okay, great, they pulled away. And then I would be like, no, don't leave. I became what is that called? A fearful avoidant? We're all avoidants. We all are toxic in our own way. And I think even someone who is a secure attachment, and I feel like I do identify as a secure attachment when I start in a relationship, and I think we all may start like this, but whoever we are connecting with, they trigger our attachment and it sways. We can become narcissistic, we can become avoidant, we can become anxious, we can become, what else is there? I don't know, obsessive. People activate us, and that is the test in love. And that is why boundaries are so important and communication is so important, because a successful relationship needs both. You need to be able to say, I need my own personal space. I don't want to lose my identity in this relationship, but I want to give you love and I want to be loved by you. And that takes courage a lot of times to even get to that point. So I'm starting to think my offer to that guy is actually really good. Maybe, hopefully he does accept it, because then it takes all the stress out of a relationship and it could just be communication, a contract. It's a contract to say, we're not going to be alone. We're going to help each other. We're friends. We're going to respect each other. We're going to honor each other. And as long as we are always choosing that, then life can be successful for us. Maybe you guys need to make contracts with people that don't annoy you. But would I even really want him in my energy if he wasn't so avoidant? I don't even know. That's what I'm saying. There's this big soul lesson. Hold on, let me grab an oracle card. There's a soul lesson when it comes to love. So let's ask clarifying love situations. What do we need to learn about relationships? Shining sign, trust in the universe's plan and follow your heart. So yeah, each person you meet is part of your soul life lesson. They're like a class or a lesson or a college course kind of thing. You have to go through learning about that experience to then learn more about yourself. Avoid burnout. I've never seen this card before. Fiery passion is consuming, sustain a lasting balance. So we're attracted to people for a reason. We're drawn to their pheromones and their energy for a reason. And then the whole thing is balancing the connection. It's not always all just about the physical attraction or the mental attraction. It's, let's make this work together. Consumed, extinguish doubt by having open communication. That's the whole point of every relationship. Every relationship can be successful, regardless of your love style or your love languages or whatever you want to identify with, as long as there's communication. There's trust, there's respect, and communication. So all relationships are fun in the very beginning, and then they become, they're not as stimulating over time. I know everyone can say that. You don't feel your way about your person the first day you're with them the same way you feel about them 10 years later. The love's still there, but it's not that exciting, passionate love. So you have to balance that energy. You have to equalize the frequency to become successful. And then when you find that person that is the person that wants to do life with you, that is the lesson. You've gone through all those people and those relationships to build your skills to be a better partner, to honor yourself, to communicate more effectively, to see a person beyond just the attraction, who they are, their values. So that's why love is hard. Love is hard, but we all love it. It's like the coolest game you could play as a human. Have fun with it.